Hey everyone, really quick before the video starts, you're going to be seeing this clip playing throughout the entire video. It's because I couldn't get past copyright claims while playing clips of the actual music video, so what I'm going to do instead is be using a combination of this B-roll footage and screenshots from the music video to explain my thoughts. Okay, you guys ready? Let's get started. Bella Poarch's music video for her song BuildABitch just dropped today, and honestly, I actually really like this video and what it goes for, but I do have a few issues with it which I'm going to get to later in this video. To kick things off, the whole song is obviously a commentary on how society views females. Now, to be completely transparent, I don't claim to, and I've never watched Bella Poarch's TikToks aside from the one that got very popular, so I never really expected this type of content to come from her. But besides who it comes from, it actually does a fantastic job of getting this point across. Before I really rip into this video, I want to first talk about what the video does right, because although I do have some issues with it, there is a lot that the video should get praised for. The biggest talking point that I believe the video did really good on was really tuning in on the idea that men and society in general have these unrealistically high beauty standards for women. And I totally agree with this. If you look at any modern day media, women are always shown as having these beautiful bodies with wide thighs, huge boobs, and all of that basically, which is supposed to appeal to the masses. But the problem with this type of media being pushed to the forefront of society is that we get this idea that that's what women are supposed to look like, and obviously that's not true. Then afterwards, most women take a look at themselves in the mirror and begin to think that something is wrong with them, and that's honestly not okay. We as people come in all different shapes and sizes. If a girl you know has big boobs and you don't, you shouldn't feel ashamed about that. And that's the message that this video strives to get across to the viewer. This message is mostly delivered through the obvious imagery and the lyrics in the song. As the video starts off, it shows these girls being made assembly style in the formation of what people would deem as the perfect girl. Already, we see how Bella Poarch is explaining how society will look at women not as a whole, but instead break her apart piece by piece in their head and pick out what they think the best part of her is. This is further exemplified during the part where she says, "Bob the Builder broke my heart, told me I need fixing." Now, I took the phrase Bob the Builder to represent society in general, as society is the main entity that believes that women should appear a certain way. Another thing that I want to touch on is the obvious lyricism employed during the song. The first one, which is obvious to me, is BuildABitch, which is a clear play on words for Build-A-Bear, comparing women to the toys and objects sold at the Build-A-Bear locations. Further getting the idea across that modern day media and society believe that they can simply pick and choose what they want their women to look like. Much like how at Build-A-Bear you can pick and choose the parts that go into your stuffed animal. Now already, I was honestly shocked when this video started. As stated before, I've only seen a handful of Bella Poarch's TikToks, so for her to be this ambitious and put a music video out that is actually a commentary on society was a bit of a surprise for me. Other lyrics that Poarch wrote include this line that reads, "I'm filled with flaws and attitude, so if you need perfect, I'm not built for you." The flaws and attitude part is what really sticks out to me in this line. I took the flaws and attitude part to be a reference to how older generations believe women have a certain role in society. I feel like there is this old school notion that, to be blunt, women belong in the kitchen. Now, I don't mean this literally, but I mean that older generations believe that women belong at home taking care of the kids, and they should take care of how they look in order to please their husband. They shouldn't have these so-called flaws in attitude, and if you do have these flaws in attitude, you aren't perfect. I know it's a bit of a stretch to take this line, "I'm filled with flaws and attitude," to mean all of that, but that's just my personal take on it. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments on what you feel like the video did right. The next part I want to go over is basically what I feel like the video did wrong. Now, everything that I've said before this is what I believe the video did right and obviously should be praised for. However, I had one major issue with the video and the song. My main criticism of the video is that Bella seems to be trying to say that only women experience these types of issues. Now, I will agree, women do have to go through more hardships when discussing these beauty standards. as women are seemingly forced from childhood to learn to do their makeup and make themselves quote unquote pretty in order for society to accept them. However, my problem isn't with this idea. My problem is the fact that the video makes it out as though men specifically are causing this issue and that men don't experience these beauty standards for themselves, which I don't believe is true. I think women and men both allow this to happen from early on. And not only that, but I do think there is such a thing as male beauty standards. It's the same reason why in superhero movies you don't see too many fat Thors, because that's not socially acceptable. You always see the hot male actor take his shirt off and show his muscles. Now obviously, male beauty standards are not nearly as bad as what some women experience, but my main criticism is just that Bella Poarch seems to believe that men never experience this and are in fact the cause of it. We know that she thinks this as the video begins with a bunch of men lined up to get their so-called match made in heaven, and then the video goes on to show how men are lining up, awaiting to pick out the body pieces to make their perfect women, getting to choose such features as how big their bust size is and how big their ass is. Then after all of this, the women break out and basically kill all of the guys. This right here speaks volumes to me about how Bella Poarch believes that men are at the very least some cause of the issue. Now, I won't deny that some men do in fact have these unrealistic beauty standards for women, but I believe on the opposite side of the spectrum that on some level, women also have these unrealistic beauty standards for men. And I'd argue some of them are comparable to the ones that women face, as some of the issues that guys have to go through aren't really changeable. A big one for me that I see nowadays is a man being shorter than a woman, with the man being denied solely because he's shorter, or he also just doesn't look attractive enough. Even so, I do think physical appearance matters way more for men than it does for women. But that doesn't mean that media doesn't put out these standards for what a man should look like. Honestly though, at the end of the day, with this video out and everything that I've said thus far, it's fine to have preferences. If a guy wants a girl with a big ass, he should have every right to want that. If a girl wants a guy that's taller and muscular, she has every right to want that. The line that should be drawn is people shouldn't believe that these standards are the bare minimum that should be met, because that's honestly just unrealistic. Some women just naturally have smaller boobs and smaller butts, and some men are just naturally shorter and don't have the ability to put on the same amount of muscle mass as the next guy. But, and this is a big but, no one should be called out for having these preferences, because they are just that, preferences. I think in general, society and advertisements have been shaped in a way for people to gain these unrealistic expectations for how they should look. But even so, I'm really glad that Bella Poarch put out this video. I just wanted to explain that women aren't the only ones facing these types of issues. So to make it a women's only issue and to say that men are the ones causing it was a bit of a stretch in my opinion, but nonetheless, the video was very well done and honestly deserves the amount of praise that I think it's going to get in the coming weeks. I will note that in general, society has gotten better about these types of issues. Plus-sized models and more realistic depictions of people are starting to be normalized in society, and it's honestly for the better. To create these ideas and advertisements that make men and women look like these gods and goddesses is just super unrealistic, and I'm glad we have media like Bella Poarch's music video to fight against these types of issues. I think at some point we have to really take a look back through history and realize just how far we've come. Just shy of 70 years ago, women were still fighting for the right to get into the army and were seen as slutty for wearing outfits like this. Nowadays, there is way more leeway for body and appearance expression, that a lot of progress has in fact been made. And music videos like this are definitely a step in the right direction. Still, with as much progress that has been made, we are nowhere near the finish line, and we won't be for a while. It's going to take the effort of our entire generation to really get rid of these types of unrealistic beauty standards. Let me know your thoughts on these unrealistic beauty standards and how they snuck their way into our society. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe for more content and hit the notification bell so you do not miss another upload. Be sure to check out my other analysis and iceberg videos if you guys enjoyed this one. I just put out a video on Ed, Edd n Eddy and also put out an iceberg video on forgotten Disney attractions at the Disneyland Resort in Southern California. With that said, I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.